So the cards I will be covering today will be cards that are easy to access and allow you to generate advantage or hinder your opponent significantly. And their current theme with all these cards, the common denominator would be their interaction with the graveyard. Another really important thing about a bunch of these monsters that we'll be talking about today will be their attribute, but also their level. And one thing that we've actually realized over the years is the fact that light and dark monsters have a tendency to be very, very good, generally better than the other 4 attributes. Obviously, there are a lot of exceptions. However, the level of the monsters, usually we actually notice that level 4 monsters typically are the most relevant monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a wide variety of reasons. First of all, they are the best monsters that can be normal summoned, which is already one thing on its own. But on top of that, they have the largest pool of summonable Xyz monsters in the whole game. With that being said, I won't even be talking about a rank 4 or level 4 monster right now, because I'll actually be talking about BEATRICE, Lady of the Eternal, or rather cards like BEATRICE, Lady of the Eternal. There is a massive distinction because I'm not necessarily trying to care about BEATRICE and Burning Abyss or BEATRICE whatever, just sending Burning Abyss cards. I'm really talking about the concept of sending cards from your deck to the graveyard, just generically. So even when we're looking at other cards, such as Lavalval Chain and also Korea's the Lightsworn Dominion, even though Lavalval Chain is banned, I think you can understand what I'm trying to say right now. The thing about cards like BEATRICE is that as long as it exists, we can actually see the same packages of cards being played over and over and over again, such as the Necro World Banshee with Zombie World package. You can also see other cards such as Fairy Tale Snow. We can see Orchestrated Crescendo using its graveyard effect in order to search Ally of Justice Cycle Reader, which is a great hand trap against light attribute decks. And we can also see Mischief of the Gnomes, which is typically very good against Synchro and Xyz heavy strategies. So again, what I'm trying to portray here is the importance of cards that have a nice graveyard effects and that you only really need to play as a one of, because they're easy to access since you can just Foolish Burial them, and obviously if you draw them you can use them as discard, and they always have some form of value. The beauty about these cards is the fact that their graveyard effect interacts on the opponent's turn because they're a quick effect. So let's just say a card like Fairy Tale Snow is very nice in case you get hit by Dark Ruler no more, because you already have that insurance policy of another interruption coming from the graveyard on top of that. So another layer of threat for your opponent. And very similar with a card like Necro World Banshee activating Zombie World against Flunderies. Let's just say your opponent had a Lightning Storm that he was basically forced to use before you went into Banshee effect. On resolution, you can literally just go Banshee, activate Zombie World, and you basically win the game there. I'm also making this video to let people know that we have kind of a new quote-unquote way of achieving this kind of play, with Branded Fusion being able to send either a light or dark attribute monster. So if you want to send a light attribute monster like Fairy Tale Snow, you can do that. Or if you want to send a dark attribute monster like Banshee or the other monsters that I don't even want to list because the list goes on forever. So again, it doesn't really matter the fact that you only play one copy of each card, and even if they're limited, it changes nothing at all because you're always going to be seeing those cards with your core engine. So there is a very microscopic difference between Fairy Tale Snow being limited and Fairy Tale Snow being unlimited. However, there is a massive difference between Fairy Tale Snow being banned and Fairy Tale Snow being limited. We can also use the exact same argument that I used before for other facilitators such as Shooting Riser Dragon, that can also send level 6 and lower monsters from your deck to the graveyard. And if you want to revive back the monsters that you foolished, you can easily do that with easily to access cards such as Baroness de Fleur and also Dragonlark Perrin. I always get confused with the name. Being able to revive back level 9 or lower monsters from a grave, or level 6 and lower monsters from the grave, respectively, for both Baroness and Dragonlark or whatever the name is. So yeah, just to sum it all up, cards that have a tendency to be easily accessible because of their attribute or level, or because of the fact that they have a really impactful graveyard effect, will always be of critical importance and relevance in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that can really be seen by the fact that people used to play Brilliant Fusion back in the days when people could, in order to not only get the additional normal summon of Gem Knight Seraphinite, but most importantly, triggering the light effect of the monster that you actually would be foolishing for Brilliant Fusion. And also after that, we also saw the Shaddoll Fusion engine being splashed a little bit somewhere in a few decks. And of course, we saw the Branded Fusion engine now being splashed in a few decks, but I want to say the pure Despia deck is probably the deck that uses it the best. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say for this video. Let me know your thoughts on all these cards in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.